lot of what encouraged me to pursue the project I'm doing now and the specific like ethos and topic of it is a conversation that you and I had in the car when you were driving me to school. I think you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you were we were talking about whatever the state of the city, basically, because at the time it was like a lot of violence,
Mm-hmm.
and of course in the neighborhood that Central is in, sometimes that violence got pretty close to the school.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking, and you were like, "Yeah, don't come back," and I was like, "Haha, that's funny,"
Mm-hmm.
not knowing that you weren't joking at first. So, so tell me if you remember anything about that conversation. You could
Mm-hmm.
tell me about your perspective, and then also just looking back at the time.
Yeah, so I think, it goes back to those things that you always want to shield your kids from as a parent. And I just saw Philadelphia change so much from when I was young, when, you could go outside and your parents weren't really worried about, something happening to you, right? And I think it was too because it was more of a sense of community, like other people knew us, knew my grandma, my mom, my dad, whoever it was. And so it was like you always had other people who were looking out for you even when your immediate family couldn't see you. So it wasn't as dangerous, and you just started to see the city turn and the murder rate increase significantly, where there were multiple homicides a day. And so that started to change, where now it was like, children weren't off limits, women weren't off limits. Um, People who, in the time that I was growing up, like if you were into some nefarious activity, like if somebody was looking for you, they would get you. But then it got to a point where people just didn't care. It was like this on site mentality. And so it was like innocent people were starting to get um, shot or killed. And so when we were having that conversation, I just knew that you going to school, getting your education, and because I think about you and all the things that you wanted to do even at a young age, I always felt like life is going to take you other places that are outside of the city. And so when I said, don't come back here, it was because I knew at the time Philadelphia just wasn't a safe place.
The important characteristics of urban environments that uniquely shape or impact youth development are numerous. The characteristics can be more relational or social or structural. Crime and violence often also adversely impact youth development and may often heighten parents and caregivers' monitoring and control strategies to protect youth in environments where crime and violence are increased.
My name is Trinity Madison.
My name is Michael Terrence Wright Jr.
John V. and Bonnie.
Hello, I'm Dr. Dawn Witherspoon.
I am Keisha Parks. I am Milan's mom.
I really think what made it clear for me that I needed to leave was people that I once had nap time with in kindergarten are literally dead or in jail, and they had the same resources as me. I've lost people, whether associates or very close, due to gun violence. I knew that I didn't want to stay around to either promote, encourage, or think that people thought that I was okay with that. But to leave, because I think regardless of wherever you come from, there's always somewhere bigger, there's always somewhere better.
I was always taught that like education is the only way. Like, you got to get educated. Like, you do have to get educated, but like school is the only way. I see a lot of successful people not making a lot of money, but they are successful in the sense that they do what they love.
Yeah, I try to find my own standard and go from there, then try to follow somebody else's. It's more like taking notes, like, oh, okay, this is what you did for yourself and it worked out. Okay, I'll see if that could work for me. I'm gonna do this from this person, I get this from that person. Like, that's how I go. It's not really like setting like a real goal because I don't even know what the real goal is. Like, for me right now, I got a whole bunch of goals. I'm just trying to see which one hits first.
Adolescence is a key developmental period where many things change: biology, cognition, social relationships, the ecological settings that youth engage in. And all of these shifts and changes have implications for how youth and young adults think about who they are. Adolescence and young adulthood are time periods that span a decade or more, and there are many life events and changes that occur during this time. Identity formation, exploration, and development is one of the fundamental tasks during these periods where individuals think and reflect on who they are in relation to the world, and they consider the messages that they have received, whether they be explicit or implicit, about what it means to be a member of the group or groups that they feel a part of.
My stepdad, something I learned from him, he came into my life at like 13. And it was that life isn't too serious. Like, this man is he's a CFO, like high level financial position. Like, somebody, you typically think somebody in that position is like some guy that sits in the corner and doesn't do much and like only looks at the numbers and like is antisocial and hates conversation and is very hard to talk to. This guy's the exact opposite. Like, he's gotten hired specifically because of his ability to speak and his personality. I'm going to air all his laundry out, but like, it wasn't until I came to him and I was like, yo, I feel very socially awkward. Like, I don't know, a lot of people say like, Mike, you're fine. But like, in my head, like, now I feel comfortable now, but like, even like a normal conversation, like there'll be a pocket where I'll hit and I'll be like, yo, I just don't want to talk anymore because I feel like I'm awkward. Like, I feel like this anxiety's building up. And he's like, I do that. I feel that way too. Like, I feel exactly that way.
The only time I've ever been arrested was for stuff that everybody has done. I was just the unlucky one to get caught. I went to Walmart and I did the fake scan. And I got caught for that. I've scammed before just to get some money. And when I do any of this illegal stuff, I'm just trying to do it to just like put myself in a better spot financially. I'm not trying to do it for the other reasons why all these other guys do it, just to flash, buy designer stuff, do all that. No, like the last time I scammed, I did it so that way I could buy a car, get an apartment, leave my mom's crib, have my own transportation so that way I could work and be on my own. It's bad to do, but it's one of those like fast money is bad, but it's like sometimes that be the only option for some people. Like, I couldn't keep staying there doing this, asking for a ride, driving this beat down car because I was gonna go crazy. So it was just, for me, I was just like, I'd rather take this chance and take this risk. If this is the outcome, I'm cool with it.
I will never forget my sophomore year of high school. I took AP Human Geography. And while I was taking that class, it was genuinely one of my favorite classes that I took. It was super fun. I enjoyed myself. I felt like I was actually learning. And this was after COVID too. And I think COVID did a number on education, but I think that's everybody's experience. But I never forget, we asked our teacher, who was like, hey, Mr. So-and-so, when are we going to take our exam? He was like, oh, I didn't schedule you guys for it. And I remember being, well, why didn't you schedule us? And he was like, because you guys wouldn't have passed. We've been in this class for the entire year, and you didn't even try to prepare us or stack the odds. You just treated us like another statistic. And it genuinely made me feel like, what's the point? I took so many AP credits that I didn't take an exam for because my school didn't prepare me for them. But hearing that words come from a teacher who's supposed to support you, uplift you, tell you that you would have failed, even though that's something that you were genuinely interested in. What if that student wanted to pursue a career in? You never know. It genuinely made me realize, like, we have these people in our institutions, in our communities, or schools who genuinely don't care if we succeed or not, which is disheartening to even think about. And it's sad because you can say, like, he didn't mean ill intent, but I don't understand, some people will argue he did have ill intent. He let you guys study for an exam that you guys were never going to take because he didn't believe you guys would pass, even though we all engaged, we all interacted. So that's why I always try to give back, because I want other people to believe in themselves like I had to believe in myself. Like my mom believed in me, like my family believed in me, because not everybody has that support at home. So I feel like that's where your school comes in, and they're supposed to push you.
With the United States being at the critical moment that it is, it's really hard to think about the social context of the United States and the assault and the attack on families of color, Black and brown children and youth. And there are multiple expectations that others have for children and youth, Black youth, brown youth. There are expectations that families have for their youth. There are expectations that the individuals have for themselves. And thinking about what all of that means, particularly within an urban environment, it's variable.
So yeah, like going to school in the suburbs and like having the development years in the suburbs had me gravitate towards those environments. Like this is 13th grade to me. Like this is Upper Dublin, but on a bigger scale, Penn State. And so I feel more comfortable here than I do in Philly, in those communities. And it's going to sound bad, but it's going to come from experience, which is I feel more comfortable being the only Black person in the room compared to being one of 20 Black people in the room. And so how I communicate with like other Black people, I felt fake, but it was because I like didn't put down my guard yet. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I just wasn't a part of the culture and the community because I didn't actually care enough or was not given the community, the culture. You know what I mean?
I feel like boys have different things in life that you worry about, right? Like, are they gonna be influenced and, sell drugs? You think about, and girls can get into fights too, but I just feel like it's other things that, and this is not even relevant for today, but it was more relevant when you all were growing up or when I was thinking about having kids.
There's certain arguments, there's certain ways that I communicate that are different than my sisters. And it's because I think I was raised to be like, don't respond, don't show aggression, do not like get yourself hurt because you can't control your emotions. They were raised to be a strong, independent woman, to voice their concern, to stand up for themselves. They're going to be treated differently just because they're a Black woman. I'll be treated differently like I'm a Black man, but it's different in the sense that they will be disrespected and I will be feared. Like I will be like seen as overly aggressive and dangerous. So I need to connect with the person in a calm fashion instead of saying, you did this, you mistreated me, like, well, and blow up on them. You know what I mean?
My mom talked to me like I was an adult since I was a child. There was no baby talk. There was no, she's XYZ years old. I feel like my mom always gave me a really realistic view of how the world was, whether, stranger danger, that type of stuff. Like I was always had a realistic review of things, whether it was like relationships when you're a teenager. So I think my mom adultified me in a sometimes bad, sometimes good, but it made me realize how dangerous the world could be. If that's kind of like the question that you were asking, like I think my mom helped me grow up and understand. I didn't grow up in a world of delusion, so I understood what the world could do to me and what I could potentially bring to the world, or how I could benefit society. So I definitely do think in a way of that, like, yes, I think her worldview kind of shifted to mine, but because I'm at a public university and because I'm getting higher education, mine is more so a little bit more complex because I'm studying at a university, if that makes sense.
Oh, student athlete? Oh man, I was getting paid. I was cool. And I was at a community college. That's the thing. I was at a community college getting paid. So being a student athlete was cool, but like because like I said, I'm an overthinker. I realized all they care about is the sports for you. You have to figure out the rest on your own. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of athletes don't know that because and it's a community thing, it's a family thing, all that. When people just push sports on a kid, especially a male or black male, once they get out on their own, they don't know what to do next. I have a friend, and it's sad to say that I have a friend, he's 6'9", all he knows is basketball. This man didn't work a real job until he graduated college, right? He graduated with a criminal justice degree. Ask me what his first job was.
His first job.
He was working at Walmart at the car section rotating tires. Criminal justice degree. Rotating tires. So it's just like he didn't know no better.
Don't be afraid. Don't be nervous. Be yourself. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. Meet new friends. If that doesn't work, meet more friends. Join clubs. Remember, closed mouths do not get fed. If there is a resource that is dangling in your face, take advantage of it. Meet your professors. Talk to people. And just remember to show gratitude. Be grateful. And remember, if you put your mind into it, you can do literally anything that you want. Now, it's a classic, but it's possible. If you're even thinking about college, go. If it doesn't work, you tried, but give it a try. If you are going to college 100% and you're committed or whatever, you're going to a trade, put your best foot forward. And remember, everything will be okay.
Something I realized is that there's different types of black communities. Like, I was like, yo, like, the black community is the black community. Like, I thought that's exactly what it was, and I like didn't feel connected to it. There's a black breaking community. There's a black anime community. Like, you don't need to be like I don't need to go to BSU to be a part of the black community. Or like, you know what I mean? Like Black Caucus to be a part of the black community. I can be a part of Black Men in Tech. Like, I'm a part of the black community doing this. And something that I think people may need, if they're in the same situation as me, where it's suburbs going into like feeling disconnected and going into it. Something to really think about is you don't have to force anything. You know, you should think of college or, you know, as a 21-year-old, that you shouldn't need to feel forced to do anything that you don't want to do, and forced to be interested in anything that you feel like you're forced to be interested in.
It's hard to figure out your next goal if you're broke. So it's like, try to find something that you're good at and try to see if it can help you financially, see if you can put some money in your pockets or anything like that. And also, social media is not real. It's not a real thing. You are not behind. The people on there are just showing you their highlights. That's all it is. They're just showing you highlights. You don't know what they're doing. After they get off IG, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, you don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what they're doing. Social media is not real. You are okay. You're where you're supposed to be. Just focus on you. That's really it. Do you know how many people are in their 20s that still don't know what they're doing? It's people in their 20s in college that don't even know what they're doing.
I'm very excited about thinking about how the accumulation of knowledge that we have identified and found can be put into practice. How can we work with community organizations and schools and key developmental settings to support youth? How might we change and amplify the resources in the presence of risk in neighborhoods?